Hi there. I wanted to start with a little story. Wendy was telling me about a picnic she had at her place about a month ago. And when we started this picnic, we brought on a pastor to do an invocation. There was also an 85-year-old woman that was going to give the flag salute. She believes strongly in this country. She grew up in the 30s in Germany. She saw Hitler's rise to power, and she just can't help but tell everybody the comparisons between the 30s Germany and what she sees going on in this country now. It was announced at the beginning of the picnic that she had fallen ill. And so we included a healing prayer in the invocation. There was nothing urgent about it. We went along, but did our picnic. We listened to the speaker. We had a pretty good time. About a week later, we visited her in the hospital. And her daughter was there with her, and we were just talking. Conversation, and in the course of that, she said, "How'd you know my mom was sick?" I said, "Well, we heard about it at the picnic, and it was announced, and I just threw in as an afterthought, we even included a little healing prayer in with the invocation." She said, "What time?" Well, the picnic was supposed to start at 2 o'clock, but we didn't get started. It was about 2:30. She almost hit the floor. She's holding onto the bed because she's afraid she's going to fall over. It turns out that her mom had collapsed on the way to a meeting that morning. They called 911. On her way to the hospital, she flatlined. She got to the ER, and she flatlined again. The doctors told her daughter, "We don't think she's going to make it. She's 85. She's got congestive heart failure, and we don't think there's a chance." Her daughter already decided she's starting to make the arrangements. At 2:30, the doctor comes out of the ER and says, "She's stable now. She's going to be okay." So just a minute ago, or a little while ago, when we said that little silent prayer for Carl and Crystal, we know it works. We've seen it happen. Hi, I'm Greg Woodworth. I'm the president of the Tacoma 912 Project. We're a group of concerned conservative citizens who got tired of yelling at the TV and finally decided to get off our couches and do something. We got started in 2009. Glenn Beck had a program about the 9 principles and 12 values. If you don't know what they are, we've got pamphlets over at the booth that spell them all out. We were started by John Higley, and he decided to step down because he's running for the second position in the 27th Legislative District. He's stepping up. So we had a power struggle in the group when he left, and I lost. That's why I ended up here. But we've been doing a lot of things over the last couple of years. We've interviewed the candidates for various offices around the state. We have candidate forums for some of the legislative districts. We've had classes on the Constitution, and we even designed our own special twist on a disaster preparedness course that goes about 8 hours. Gets you ready for just about everything. We don't hate the government. As Thomas Paine said, it is a necessary evil at best and intolerable at its worst. It's getting to that point where it's becoming intolerable. It's mutated far beyond what our founders had envisioned the government was supposed to be. It's growing too big, too fast, it's out of control. It's sucking resources out of everything around it. It's choking the lifeblood out of the taxpayers. It's intruding into areas of the Constitution that it was forbidden to do. In short, the government has cancer. There is a cure for this disease. There's a document that created our government, and it's the immune system that can heal it as well, if it's allowed to work as it was designed to. We need a strong immune system to fight the cancer, but it's been under attack for years. It's been subverted through ignorance and apathy. The politicians we send to work for us don't read it and ignore it when it gets in their way. The media, our first line of defense, which is what they're constitutionally supposed to do, They just feed us sugary news while our rights are stripped away one by one. Not only that, they do not understand the Tea Party. They're stuck on stupid. They have their template of what we are, and then they try to match us into that. And when it doesn't fit, well, maybe it'll fit this template. They don't bother to find out who we really are. They just keep trying to move it along. We have an education system that doesn't teach our kids anymore. Instead of the basics of citizenship, they're taught global citizenship. Instead of the foundations of liberty, they're taught to save Mommy Earth. Instead of the pride of individual achievement, we give everybody trophies no matter how well you do. We don't have any discipline in the schools, and without discipline, there is no learning. We have an entitlement system that's choking our economy to death, and spending that will require an average tax rate of 27%, which includes the 48% that don't pay taxes. What can we do to fight this cancer? We have to know the opposition. I know cancer from a different perspective. My wife was diagnosed 5 years ago with breast cancer. It was a stage 1 cancer tumor, and because we believe heavily in natural medicine, we decided to fight it naturally. No chemo, radiation, surgery, any of that. We went to our naturopath. We set up a line of plan, different supplements. We set up a diet plan, and we hit it. We used a Taekwondo approach, all offense, all the time. Unfortunately, with the diet that we set up, we had to cut certain things out because cancer it grows by fermentation. So anything that makes a good brew, you have to cut that out of your diet. So we gave up no sugar, no alcohol, no wheat, no alcohol, no dairy, no alcohol, and no beef. Did I mention no alcohol? It was a little tough to adjust to, but we got used to it. About 12 months, her cancer markers had gone down to below what the normal range is. And in 18 months, there's no appreciable evidence of any cancer anywhere. So it is possible to beat cancer without having to go through all the surgery and all the traditional means. But what does this tie into with what we're doing now? It's because God put our body together to heal itself naturally. We have mechanisms already inside ourselves. As long as we get out of the way, our immune system will take care of it. Our Constitution is the same way. It has an immune system built into it. Now in our bodies, we have a little cell that goes around looking for cancer cells. It attaches itself to it, injects it with hydrogen peroxide, and kills it. It's called a T cell. Well, in our country, we have an immune system, too, that's been raised up by God, I think. It's called the Tea Party. And we have to go around finding these little cancerous ideas that are springing up in the minds everywhere. We have to go into our schools, our churches, our governments, and find those ideas. We don't use the word kill. Just convince otherwise. Work on it. It just goes into every level. We have the isms that infect every level of our society, and that each of us has to do our part. We have to confront our friends and relatives as well. To paraphrase what Erica told me after we recounted the story of her miraculous healing, was to think of the effect of 20 to 30 million Tea Partiers can have on our nation if we all act together to restore our constitutional republic. Thank you, and God bless.